You're listening to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast with your host, Bob Gardner.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Glistening Glass. Glistening Glass is my company and is a residential window washing and gutter cleaning company. We service the northern Hillsborough and southwest Pasco County area. If you're interested in having your home windows or gutters cleaned, now is the time to call. 813-404-2300. That's Glistening Glass. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Bob with Messenger Hope Mission, and this is the Messenger Hope Mission podcast, if you weren't aware of that already. I have a lot to talk about today. There's so much going on with Messengers of Hope. I will be kind of bullet pointing this, I think, as I go through everything that's happened over the last few weeks since the last podcast. Speaking of the last podcast, I did want to get an episode out the last 2 weeks. I have just been super busy with everything else in my personal life and with Messengers of Hope that I have not had the time to stop and do a podcast. Now, I could have done one. I tried to do one in my car as I was driving, but it sounded terrible, so I stopped it and restarted it today. The question is where to start. I've got so much to talk about, but I think what I'm going to do is going to talk about something that happened yesterday to me personally, and I think it's just a funny story, so I want to share that. Oftentimes I'll be talking with different people and talking about Messengers of Hope and our needs and stuff like that. And it was no different yesterday. I was talking about Messengers of Hope and what we needed food-wise and finances-wise. And as we were having a conversation, they asked me a question that kind of struck me weird. Actually, it was more of a statement than a question. They said, you know, even though that you're an older person, you could go back to school and get a degree so that you can get a good paying job. Now, I was kind of taken aback by this. I do not get paid for working for Messengers of Hope, and that is on purpose. We do that on purpose because we need the money to run Messengers of Hope. Now, at some point down the road, Messengers of Hope is going to have to start paying people to do the work as we grow, but we are not there yet. It is very important to pay people to do the work that they do because people are worthy of the work that they do. Now, we are very volunteer-based, and that's the way we do it right now, but at some point we will have to have key people that will get paid, but that is a problem for later on. So as I was talking to this person, and they will remain nameless and genderless in this story, they made that comment that I could go back to school so I can get a good paying job. And I asked them what they meant by that. And they said, well, you can work for a nonprofit and actually get paid a decent amount to the tune of over $200,000, which really took me back. And I said to them, I don't think that even if I could get a job working for a nonprofit that paid that much, that I could justify taking that amount of money working for a nonprofit. Now, I know that there are nonprofits out there that do pay their CEOs, executive directors, and upper management staff that kind of money. I know because I've seen some of those locally here, and I just can't justify it in my mind. I understand they do that, and that's the way they run it, so I'm not going to call them out on it, but I don't think I could ever do that. And then what I said back to them kind of blew their mind. I told them that I wouldn't be able to do that. And then I said, I have already been to school. I have got an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and I'm just 2 credits away from a master's degree. I stopped going for my master's because of the cost of it, and I don't really need it to do what I do, but I am pretty well educated. So they actually asked me why I was washing windows for a living if I was so well educated. And I said, because it pays good and it gives me a flexible schedule so that I can run Messengers of Hope. That's the way my family and I have decided to do this, to make sure that Messenger of Hope is taken care of. Now, it is a financial burden on us sometimes. It is very frustrating when it rains and there's no work, or the holidays are upon us and the work is very slow because of the holiday season. But it's something that we've decided that we have to deal with so that Messengers of Hope can be run. And just to bring this full circle, Messengers of Hope Mission's financial budget for a given year, starting this year, because we had to raise our budget, is $96,000. That's $8,000 a month that we have to have coming in to do our operations and everything that we do. That is not paying staff. So we have all that going on, and we are on a shoestring budget. Don't think that we're sitting there wasting money in some way. We use that money to pay our rent, to pay our utilities, to pay our insurance, to buy the food, to pay for the fuel, all things like that so that we can run Messengers of Hope and take care of the people in need. Well, anyway, I thought that was a funny story that they thought I was uneducated because I wash windows and because I run a small nonprofit. You know, it is how it goes, perception of some people. And I don't flaunt that I have an education. I liked my education. I enjoyed it. I don't really use what I had in my education, but I wouldn't change what I got because I really enjoy the education that I got. Okay, on to other matters. So, of course, this month is Messenger Hope 10th anniversary. We've been around since August of 2014, and we just had an appreciation lunch for many of the volunteers that showed up, and I want to thank those volunteers. And we're also starting something this very month, which is Will Work to End Hunger. Now, we're asking people to make a cardboard sign that you would see like a homeless person using on the side of the street that says hungry will work for food or something like that. Well, we are making cardboard signs that say will work to end hunger. We're taking pictures of ourselves holding that sign anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the street, and then posting it to our social media and tagging Messenger Hope. We're asking everyone to do that. So if you're listening to this podcast and you want to support Messenger Hope in some way, please do that. That would be very helpful. You can actually go to our social media and see examples of those pictures now. And of course, we're asking people to tag Messenger Hope, and we're asking people to tag other people that might be willing to do this and to donate to Messenger Hope. Not only finances, but also food. We are really in need of food. And so we've been hit so hard. Back in July, we fed over 10,000 people in a month. That's 10,000 bags of groceries and bags of meat that we gave out in the month of July. And that was a lot of people, something that we have never reached that number before. And it looks like August is going to be pretty darn close to those numbers again. This does look like it's going to be the new normal for us, about 9 to 10,000 people on a given month. And in next month, we're going to be starting another pantry, so that number might go up again. But that also means that we need to have more food coming in. And I posted a video about a week and a half ago showing our shelves were almost completely empty. We do have some key things in stock, like we have cans of corn, we have rice, we have German muesli cereal, we have coffee, and we have drinks, but not much else. Everything else is very sparse. Now, things have been coming in just enough so that we can run each pantry, but we are still behind the 8 ball. So we need people to step up and donate food and finances so we can get the food that we need. I do want to thank the Fraternal Order of Eagles in Newport Richey, Florida, because they did a food drive for us just recently, and they gave us a grant of $1,000 plus a little bit of extra donations that they collected that night. Further, I want to thank Alessi Vigo. That is the food company, Alessi Vigo. They donated 2 pallets of food, and I think there's a 3rd pallet going to come in this week or next week, and I want to thank them because we really need that food. That is some of the rice that I was talking about, and some other things, some pasta as well. This upcoming week, we have 4 more pantries to go. 1 on Thursday, 1 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. The Thursday one is covered. The Saturday one, we think that we have covered. The first one on Sunday is covered. The second one on Sunday, we are still working to get the food in because we need a lot of food coming in. That is one of our biggest pantries every month. Of course, this month is almost to a close, which means that we start all over again in September. And as I said, we have a new pantry starting in September, so we even need more food than that. We don't know what that one's going to be like. We're going to plan for about 100 people showing up to that, but we don't know if we'll get 1 person or 100 people or 1,000 people. We have been advertising it and getting word out, so we really don't know what to expect, but we're going to plan for about 100 because that's what we usually plan for the first pantry. Speaking of all the food and the finances that we need to come in, we do have a fundraiser coming up in September. It is the last Saturday of September, September 28th, starting at 7 a.m. till 1:30 p.m. We're holding the semi-annual Messenger Hope Mission garage sale right at our location in Odessa. This is what we call Pasco's biggest garage sale, and we call it that for a reason because the garage sale is huge. We fill up our entire parking lot with items for sale, and sale items start at just $1. Please come out and support us, or if you're willing to donate items to the garage sale, we'll start accepting that about a week or 2 before the garage sale. Although I have a lot of things to bring up in future podcast episodes in the upcoming weeks, there's one that I wanted to start talking about because we're at the end of August, starting into September, we're going to be gearing up towards the holiday season. Every year we have a t-shirt that is made for Messenger Hope Mission for Thanksgiving/Friendsgiving/Thursday because we give out these shirts when people donate a turkey to Messenger Hope. And then any shirts that are left over, or if we need to make more, we save for the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you might celebrate at that time of the year. And we give out those shirts when people donate a brand new unwrapped toy or gift for teenagers or children for the holidays. The reason I'm bringing this up is not only because I want people to start thinking about donating turkeys and toys, but also because we are looking for sponsors for that shirt. Think of like a marathon shirt where you have the front logo, which is the marathon name, and the back, which have all the different sponsors. Now we have different levels of sponsors. We have a gold sponsor, which is $1,000. We have 2 silver sponsors, which is $500 each. We have bronze sponsors, which is $250 each, and then we have name sponsors. This is just a simple line with someone's family name, a church name, whatever the case may be, and that is $50. So that can be donated, and then you can have your name on the shirt. And now these shirts go out to anybody that donates, and of course it goes out to all the volunteers or anyone that is a sponsor of the shirt. They get a shirt or two for their people or for themselves to be able to use. This is a great advertising thing for a company or a church or a club, because then they get their name out there and people see that they are giving back to the community, and we really need that. So I will start doing that. I will start going out to businesses like the previous sponsors and new sponsors in the upcoming weeks, because we have to have this all in by the middle of October so that we can have the shirts made in time for the holiday season. Hey, if you have a business or a club or a church and are interested in this, please reach out to us, because we need to get this ball rolling right away. Well, I think that's going to do it for the Messenger of Hope Mission podcast this week. I'm Bob Gardner, your host, and I want to ask you to go out and make a difference in your world today. Go disrupt the normal thing and bring joy to someone's life. Take care of someone's need. Even if you can't do it with Messenger of Hope, do it wherever you are. Thanks for listening, guys. God bless. Okay, we've reached the point in the podcast where I get to make an appeal to you, the listener. Messengers of Hope is in need of volunteers to come work with us, not only at our various food pantries, but also at our warehouse in Odessa, Florida. We have all types of jobs for all types of people, everything from light cleaning to heavy stacking of boxes and sorting of food. Now, maybe you're listening and you're saying, hey, Bob, I don't live local, and it would take way too long for me to get onto a plane and fly there to come work for an afternoon. That's okay. I've got a plan for you as well. You can go to our Facebook page and find links for our payment portals. We have both Venmo and PayPal, and you can make a donation to Messenger of Hope that way. Still not enough? You can find our address and mail us a check, and we'll be happy to take that. Messengers of Hope is a registered 501c3 nonprofit, so any donations you make is 100% tax deductible. That's going to do it for this week's Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. In the words of Mother Teresa, if you can't feed 100 people, feed just one. This is Bob Gardner reminding you to make a difference in our world today. See you next time right here on the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast.